Hey cats and chicks, it's Slickback Rocker here, and today I'm going to be ranking all of Elvis Presley's albums throughout the 50s. On my least favorite to my more favorite to the okay ones to the just, well, you get the idea. Now keep in mind, this is just my opinion on these albums. If you feel anybody different about these albums, that's totally okay. These are just my opinions on these albums, my personal takes on them, what I think of them, all that other good stuff. And I have a good majority of all of his 50s albums in the 50s when he did do albums back then. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get through it, shall we? So actually at one of the more lower spots on the list here that I made, I have Elvis's first album. Alright, now hear me out on this one. Some people like his first album. I was not too much of a fan of it. Me personally, I like a few songs off of this album, but I wasn't big on this. It wasn't my favorite, and still isn't my favorite. It's good, don't get me wrong. It's a good album. It's just not my favorite, and it kind of falls to one of my lower least favorites of Elvis's albums. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just my personal take on it. Don't get me wrong, there are some good songs on here. Not saying it's completely like the worst album he ever put out, but as far as one of my more least favorite ones go, his first album's got to be up there as just one of my least favorite ones I never really listened to that much, but I like it to some degree. It's just not my favorite. It's like it's probably like gonna be like the lowest ranked one on this list, just because it's not my favorite. All right, and moving up more towards the upper of the list, next one we have here is 50,000 Elvis Fans Can't Be Wrong. So we went from 1956 to 1959 here. So this one comes above Elvis's first album only because I kind of feel the same way about this album that I did with his first album. Only a handful selected songs on here I like. I don't like every song on here. There are some that are like, I could do without. Then there's some that are really good. You know, only like a handful selected on ones on this one, at least to me, are good. Kind of like his first album. Like a handful are good, and then the rest of them, like, I really don't care for. And that's how I kind of felt about Elvis's second album of Golden Records, or like his compilations albums. Because this is the second album that he did a compilation in, which is 1959. I don't know, man. I didn't feel like I liked this one as much as some of the other compilations that he had put out. That's just me on it. So, yeah. Moving on. Alright. This is kind of like another compilation album. A Date with Elvis. This came out also in 1959. And some of the songs in here are like a lot better than 50,000 Elvis Fans Can't Be Wrong, but I still kind of feel the same way with it. It's good to an extent, but there are just some songs I don't like listening to, I skip through, but it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's a good album. It's another good compilation for an Elvis album. But, you know, it's just not one that I think about playing usually when I ever put on an Elvis vinyl. This is not one that I think about mostly, so yeah. But it's a decent, another compilation one. I like it. It's just not one that I like a lot. Okay. Now we're going to get to some of the ones that I like more than those ones. And that would be, the first one I'm going to talk about here is King Creole. Now, I actually like this one. This is where the list is going to start to get towards like the ones I like more than the ones I talked about before. And the one we're going to start off with is King Creole, which came out in 1958. It was a movie soundtrack, and it was a movie. I have both the movie and the soundtrack. The soundtrack on here was pretty good, I will say. I like the soundtrack. Not my favorite Elvis soundtrack, but it's definitely really good. I like the soundtrack. A lot more acting in this movie from Elvis, which was also really, really cool and neat. But it's a good soundtrack. It's not my favorite soundtrack he did, but it's pretty good. And there's the back, in case you want to see the back art. But yeah. Alright. So let's talk about this next one here. The next one we're going to talk about is some Christmas albums, and the first Christmas album we're going to talk about is Elvis Sings Christmas Songs, Elvis's Christmas album. I've had this for a few years. It was used and was given to me. I tried looking this up. It said it came out in 1951. I don't know if the internet's right about that or not. Let me know if you know the real date on this album and when it was released. I can't find the original date for it, but I feel like there's more better Christmas albums out there, which I'm kind of ranking it so low. To me at least, there's more better Christmas Elvis albums out there than this one. The song selection here is good, but I just feel like there's more better ones out there than this one. Just me personally. So yeah. So this is still like in the category of like, it's okay, but not okay, but it's good, but like it's not my favorite. That's what this category is. It's good, but it's not my favorite. And the ones I went through before, those ones are just kind of like the okay ones, the ones I'm not too much of a fan of. Yeah. There too. All right. Now the Christmas album that I do like more better is his very first Christmas album called Elvis's Christmas Album, which came out in 1957. That's one I do prefer more over than the other one. So, yeah. Shocker, right? I just like the song selection on here better, and I feel like the track listing is a lot more better listed too, so it comes to like good songs more than the not so good Christmas songs, at least to me. That's just kind of how I feel about his Christmas stuff. I like this one as my favorite because, I don't know, it's my favorite. It's my more favorite one than the other one I have. But yeah. So this is more in the more better pile, I would say. We're getting into the more better stuff, the ones I like more. Getting close to the end here, Loving You is the next one we're going to talk about here. I love this album. I love the soundtrack. I love the movie. Really, really good stuff on here. And this is one of my favorite soundtracks that he ever did was Loving You. I love this movie a lot. The movie was good. Soundtrack was good. You can't go wrong with this soundtrack. It was really, really good. I liked it, and I have it. So yeah, Loving You. This is on the list of like really, really good. Like every song on here, to me at least, is pretty good, except Lonesome Cowboy Can Go. I don't like that one. Other than that, every song on here is really good. And there's some bonus songs on here too, which is also really, really cool. But yeah, I like this one. This is going in the list of one of my favorites. That's what this is going in the list of. Alright. So, next, another kind of controversial one that I've noticed from seeing what people's opinions are is Elvis's second album, simply titled Elvis. I like this one. I like 6 songs off of here. Other than that, I'm not too much a fan of some of the slower ones. I like slower songs by Elvis to an extent, but some of these are just not my favorite. I kind of tend to skip past them with this album. But some of them are okay, but there's just some where I just can't skip past it. But I was listening to a lot of these songs on binge for like a long time, so I got to give this album credit for having a lot of good songs. Like Paralyzed, I was listening to for a very long time, past couple months. And When My Blue Moon Turns to Gold Again, I was also listening on repeat for the past like couple months. So I got to give this album credit just for those 2 songs alone, which is why it's going in the one of my favorites pile, just because some of these songs in here I was really getting into for a long time here. So I got to give this in the really good pile for the Elvis albums that he released. Alright, and then the last one is my very first Elvis album I ever bought, Elvis's Golden Records Volume 1. This is up there as one of my favorite Elvis albums of all time from the 50s, mainly because it has a lot of good songs on here, and if you're just getting into Elvis's music, this is a really good way to start off. By doing so is, if you're a vinyl collector, you're picking up Golden Records Volume 1, which was a 1958 album. I like this album a lot. It's really, really good. A lot of good stuff on here. There's like 1 or 2 songs at most I don't like on here, but other than that, it's a really good compilation album, and it really showcases Elvis's music if you're brand new to listening to it. It showcases it a lot. Really good track listing on here. And it's a really nice gold color too, which makes it even more better. And I just have a lot of fond memories with this album because it was my first album I ever bought. So this is like another one of my favorites in the favorite pile. So, yeah. Let's quickly go through the albums I have in the piles real quick before we end this video. So for favorites, we have Elvis's Golden Records Volume 1. Alright. Oh no, this final's kind of coming out. Oh well. And then for other favorites, we have Loving You. Really good soundtrack. I love this soundtrack. It's really, really good. And the songs in here are really good as well. So that's why it's going in my favorite pile. Just as far as I go with listening to Elvis, this is one of my more favorite soundtracks he's released. Alright. And then we got Elvis's second album. Another one of my favorites. Alright. Now we got, next one, Elvis's Christmas album. My favorite Christmas album he ever released. I like this one a lot. Really good for Christmas time, which is coming up soon. Now we got the ones that I like. They're okay. I don't know how I feel about them. King Creole. A lot of people like this one. I felt okay on it. It was okay. Some of the stuff was good. Some of the stuff was bad. That's how I felt about it. This is the okay pile. For me, at least. And next is this Christmas album. I felt okay on it. Some of the track listing was not too great. Some of it was really good. I just felt okay on it. Not really, yeah, just that. And then we got A Date with Elvis. Compilation album, I kind of felt the same thing with all these. Okay, I mean, I liked a lot of these songs. Yeah, I just felt okay with it. My favorites, the okays. Alright, and now the ones that I liked, they're just, I don't know, I just don't know how I feel about them. 2 vinyls in here only, and that is Elvis's Debut and Elvis's Golden Records Volume 2. Yeah, I just don't know how I feel about these. I don't hate them. I don't want to say I hate any of these albums, but these are just definitely like one of my least favorite ones, for me at least. I know a lot of people like Elvis's first album. If you do, that's fine. Personally, me, as far as I go, my least favorites that I've listened to from Elvis is his first album and Golden Records Volume 2. That's just me. That's just how I feel about it. You can feel however you want about it. That's just my personal opinion. And yeah. Thank you all so much for watching me rank all of Elvis's 50s albums. Oh yeah, one more for an honorable mention. For LP fans only. I don't have it on vinyl yet. It was also a 50s album. I don't have it on vinyl yet though, but I will give it a quick ranking. Real quickly though, because I have listened to it multiple times. For LP fans only, it's got a lot of good stuff on there. It's another compilation album from Elvis. Him on 1959. I'm going to give it I want to say maybe C or B because it's good, but like it's not my favorite. So yeah, that's LP fans for LP fans only. Yeah, so that's kind of my ranking of all of Elvis's 50s albums from the 50s and all the albums he did in that time. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think. If it was good or not, let me know what you all thought. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you all next time. Peace.